If I claim this image represents one of the basic yet deep truths of the world, would you believe? Hinduism is one of those religions that use symbolism extensively to convey deep philosophical messages. Every aspect of Hinduism, including the iconography of deities, animals associated with them, mantras, mountains and rivers, colors and yantras, represents something bigger and deeper. Let me give some examples. We can see a third eye on the forehead of almost all Hindu gods and goddesses, which represents perception and insight. It is believed that even humans can activate their third eye chakra or insightfulness through proper meditation. Another example would be the lotus flower that grows in muddy water but remains clean itself. Thus, lotus represents purity, the ability to stay away from negatives of the material world. The iconographic form of goddess Chinnamasta also represents a deep truth about the universe. No matter how scary it appears, it indeed is the reality. And in this video, we will discuss that truth. Welcome to Sepia Diaries. I'm your host, Rupsha. Almost all of us are familiar with the iconographic form of goddess Chinnamasta to some extent. Here we can see that she is standing on a love-making couple. She doesn't wear any conventional apparel or ornaments. Instead, wears a snake. In one hand, she holds her own head, and the other hand brandishes a sword. 3 streams of blood are coming out of her body, one of which is going straight to her own mouth, and the rest of the 2 are going to the mouths of her 2 companions, Dakini and Varnini. It may look really fearsome and uncomfortable to many. Some may even wonder, how come a goddess appear like that? Is she even a goddess or not? Yes, she definitely is a goddess, one of the 10 Mahavidyas, a form of the Supreme Mother, divine feminine in Hinduism, and represents the cycle of creation. Before explaining her iconographic form, let's discuss her origin story. In Hinduism, she is considered as one of the fiercest aspects of the Divine Mother and the 6th of 10 Mahavidyas. However, one thing needs to be noted. She is not only a Hindu goddess but a Buddhist goddess too. So her origin story varies in the scriptures of these traditions. The ultimate message, however, is quite the same. It is a powerful metaphor of detachment, overcoming one's ego, and sacrificing oneself for the greater good. One origin story of goddess Chinnamasta comes from Shakta Mahabhagavat Purana. According to this text, Sati, as a dutiful wife, asks her husband Mahadev's permission to attend a yagna at her father's home. However, being well aware of Daksha's evil intentions, Mahadev was unwilling to grant permission. Sati wasn't ready to accept that. Instead, she decided to remind Mahadev of her true identity, that she is not any ordinary woman, but the Supreme Feminine. She revealed her 10 Mahavidya forms that guard all 10 directions of the cosmos. Goddess Chinnamasta is the guardian of the eastern direction. According to Pranotoshini Tantra, one day goddess Parvati went to bathe in the Mandakini river along with her 2 companions, Jaya and Vijaya. After some time, Jaya and Vijaya asked Parvati for food as they were hungry. Parvati asked them to wait for a while and told them she would give them food once they reached home. But Jaya and Vijaya were unable to wait as they were overpowered by hunger, and reminded goddess Parvati that being the mother of the universe, it is her duty to provide her children with food, clothes and all sort of necessities. They address the goddess as the merciful one, bestower of boons and fulfiller of desires. Hearing all these, goddess Parvati severed her head with fingernails, and 3 blood streams came out. The right one and the left one fell into the mouths of her attendants, and the central one went into hers. She has not been mentioned in the Vedas clearly. She prominently appears in Mahadevi Bhagavata Purana and the Shakta Mahabhagavata Purana. In Hindu Tantra Sara, she has been addressed as Sarva Siddhi, and the Chinnamasta Kalpa calls her as Sarva Buddhi. Not only Hindu scriptures, but Buddhist scriptures also mention her, and many prominent scholars believe that Buddhist scriptures mentioned her even before the Hindu ones. Goddess Chinnamasta is not only a Hindu goddess, but she is a Buddhist Tantric goddess too. In Vajrayana Buddhism, she is considered a Buddha in female form, an enlightened being. She is known as Chinnamunda, Vajrayogini or Vajravarahi. Her Tibetan names are Dorje Niljorma, which means Vajrayogini Chinnamunda, and Dorje Phagmo Uchema, which means Vajravarahi Chinnamunda. The two attendants of hers are known as Vajravairochani and Vajravarnini. In Buddhist iconography, sometimes we see that Kama and Rati are missing. The main theme of the iconographic form of goddess Chinnamasta is the renewal of creation. Blood essentially represents life force, the basic nourishing substance. She herself represents destruction, as she didn't hesitate to sacrifice herself for the greater good. She is standing on a love-making couple, which is a symbol of creation. So her iconographic image shows that in this universe, creation and destruction go hand in hand. She is not only feeding her companions, but also herself. Here she is the giver, the receiver, and also the object that is being given and received. In reality, the Divine Mother is Parama Prakriti, or nature itself. If we observe the cycle of creation, then we will see that every living and non-living thing around us is a part of nature. We emerge from nature, we receive nourishment from nature, and once we reach the end of our lifespan, all of our physical existence becomes one with nature again. And this is how the cycle of creation and destruction keeps going on. And this is the basic message that this image conveys. As said before, she guards the east. In Hinduism, the eastern direction is very auspicious, as it symbolizes renewal. Every day, the sun rises from the east and a new day begins. So just like the east, Ma Chinnamasta also represents the endless cycle of renewal. She also symbolizes overcoming one's ego. What is ego? The ego is the self, especially as contrasted with another self or the world. It's a Latin word meaning I, and when it comes to I, the head becomes the primary aspect of one's identity. So by sacrificing her head, she destroyed her ego to help others. So no matter how fearsome she looks, her appearance promotes the values of kindness and selflessness. In the Tantric pantheon, we often come across deities that scare us. But so does nature. Nature creates us. At the same time, it is the rule of nature that every life will come to an end. When nature shows its fierce and destructive form, we feel helpless. Nature is the protector and the destroyer at the same time. Tantric goddesses, especially the 10 divine forms of the goddess Dasa Mahavidya, represent that harsh truth without any filter. And this approach really scares us. But if we try to see the truth beneath, then we will probably overcome the fear eventually. Hope you liked this video. To watch more videos on mythology, culture and history, please subscribe to Sepia Diaries. See you soon.